You humans always volunteer for things beyond your capability.
It is almost impressive how consistently you misjudge yourselves.
The briefing had been clear. The Veth'ari delegation required a single coalition representative to accompany them through the Kareth Passage, a navigational corridor through the contested outer belt that required someone with current passage authorization, detailed knowledge of the relay station network, and the kind of adaptable tactical thinking that the passage's unpredictable conditions demanded. The Veth'ari had 17 qualified navigators in their own fleet. They needed a coalition authorization code that only a coalition officer could provide in real time, the kind of living credential that couldn't be transferred or transmitted. Senior Officer Marcus Vane had volunteered. Lissa of the Veth'ari Second House had looked at him across the briefing table with those green-blue eyes and said, in front of 4 coalition delegates and 6 Veth'ari officials, "This is your qualified candidate." A human, not as a question, as a verdict. The room had gone quiet in that particular way rooms go. Quiet when something has been said that everyone heard and nobody is sure how to address. Marcus had said, "Yes." Nothing else. No defense. No elaboration, no visible reaction to the tone. The one word, flat and complete. As a door closing. Lissa had made her assessment. Known for the record, Veth'ari protocol preferred a navigator of established lineage and documented multi-passage experience. Humans were generalists. Generalists made errors in specialized conditions. She would accept the coalition's assignment under protest and under the condition that her own navigator retained authority over all primary route decisions. Marcus had agreed to this condition without expression. The passage took 4 days. On the first day, the relay network at Junction 7 experienced a cascade failure that knocked out 3 navigational reference points. Simultaneously, a known hazard that the Veth'ari documentation flagged as requiring rerouting through the secondary corridor. Lissa's navigator had begun calculating the secondary route. Marcus had said quietly that the secondary corridor had been closed for maintenance since the 3rd month of the current cycle. A change logged to the coalition relay database 6 weeks ago that the Veth'ari charts hadn't incorporated yet. He had the tertiary route already plotted with 3 alternate branches depending on the drift readings from Junction 9. The navigator had looked at data. It was accurate. They had taken the tertiary route. Lissa had said nothing about it, but she had watched him with slightly different eyes for the rest of the first day. On the second day, they encountered a debris field from a collapsed way station, not on any chart too recent for any update. The debris was moving in a pattern that the Veth'ari navigation system modeled as high risk, suggesting they wait 12 hours for the field to redistribute. Marcus had looked at the movement data for approximately 90 seconds and said the field wasn't redistributing. It was cycling. Pattern. Repeated every 4 hours. There was a 14-minute window on the next cycle's peak that created a navigable gap on the port side. The navigator had run his own analysis. It had taken 22 minutes to confirm what Marcus had identified. In 90 seconds, they had used the gap. Lissa had come to find him in his assigned cabin that evening. This was where they were now, the blue-lit industrial space of a Veth'ari cabin with a honeycomb viewport showing deep space, and her formal green gown, slightly incongruous against the functional metal walls. You humans always volunteer for things beyond your capability, he said. It is almost impressive how consistently you misjudge yourselves. He met her eyes without moving. Is that what happened? He said. Or is that what you needed to believe? She looked at him. You came in here with a verdict already written, he said, without heat, without performance. Generalists make errors. Humans misjudge themselves. You decided that before the first day. He tilted his head slightly. But that's not why you're here tonight. I am here to discuss the remaining passage. Routing, she said. The remaining routing is straightforward, he said. You didn't need to come in person for that. The pause was longer than it should have been for someone who had a ready answer. The debris field calculation, she said. Finally, how did you identify the cycle? In 90 seconds. Pattern recognition, he said. I've been studying outer belt debris dynamics for 3 years. The movement, signature match day, class of way station, collapse I've documented 14 times. Us generalists study broadly. Sometimes broad study intersects very specifically with what's in front of them. Lissa looked at him for a long moment. The bioluminescent specks on her skin caught the blue cabin light and held it, tiny stars that moved when she breathed. The Veth'ari have a term, she said carefully. Vel'shan means someone who knows more than they appear to know. We use it as a warning usually. Be careful of vel'shan. Pause. It is not always a warning. What is it the rest of the time? A recommendation, he said. Marcus looked at her without speaking. Outside the honeycomb viewport, the outer belt moved in its slow indifferent patterns. Debris and starlight, and the navigational complexity that had required someone who knew more than they appeared to know. There are 2 more days in the passage, he said. Yes, she said. Do you want to look at the routing together? Have 3 points flagged that the standard charts won't account for. She was quiet for a moment, the particular silence of someone revising a verdict they had considered final. Yes, she said. Not graciously, not with apology, just directly, the way someone speaks when they have decided that accuracy matters more than consistency. With their earlier position, was Marcus thought the most honest thing she had said to him since the briefing room. He pulled up the navigation display. They worked until the second watch cycle. In the after-action report that Lissa filed with the Veth'ari second house, upon completion of the Kareth passage, 1 paragraph read, Coalition representative demonstrated navigational knowledge and analytical pattern recognition that exceeded initial assessment parameters. Recommend revision of Veth'ari protocols regarding human coalition officers. In specialized passage contexts,